Welcome back, students. So, today we will continue the next concept on reinforcement learning, which is active reinforcement learning. So, today we are going to discuss a technique on active reinforcement learning, which is your cue learning. So, before that, I like to I like to repeat you the concept which we have discussed in the last previous session. That is, we have seen about active and passive reinforcement learning, and I said you how this active and passive reinforcement learnings are differed. Basically, active reinforcement learning is something where you don't have a fixed policy. I mean, the agent, the agent where it is there on the current environment doesn't have any policy. So there is no fixed policy at all in active reinforcement learning. So the goal is to learn to get a optimal policy. Without having a policy, it tries to get a policy which is to be an optimal way. So using that concept of active reinforcement learning, we are implementing that technique using the help of cue learning. So as I said you that it doesn't requires any policy, that's why it is an off policy reinforcement learning algorithm. Off policy, just now I said that there is no policy provided to the given algorithm, and still it has to get the best action. That means how it accepts, because for a given state S, whenever an agent is there in a given state S, so it doesn't know how the agent has to move from one state to another state. So what it does is it just selects the actions among the set of actions, and it selects which action which is a best action among the set of actions. Using that actions, it transit from one state to another state. So it's like that, it is something where it doesn't have any specific model or specific way that it tries to go in that way. Previously we have seen regarding policy, or we have seen regarding optimal policy, that it is having a specific path on which an agent will try to get that. It has to get to the destination, but here it's something where it doesn't have any policy in the sense, I said what is policy, a sequence of steps which leads to its destination. So there is no specific steps has been provided in order to reach to the destination. So that is the reason why it is termed as model free reinforcement learning, because there is no specific model on which the reinforcement learning will works there. So only what the agent only knows that what are the set of possible states, that two possible states, not exactly. So that are possible states, and for that what actions the agent can observe in an environment. So that is only that is only the agent, the agent on which it is working will knows that. So for example, like here current state is there. So if an agent doesn't knows about rewards, okay, so agent also doesn't know, but when it takes the action upon that, okay, so based on that the rewards, or else the transition between states will be provided by selecting the best action among the given set of actions. So what the agent work is the agent works has been more here. Why? Because agent doesn't know the path here, agent doesn't know the policy here, agent doesn't have an idea on the policy. So now the agent responsibility has increased because it has to learn from the experiences. If it goes to that state, if it goes to other state, what kind of result an agent is getting from from moving from one state to another state. Okay, how the reward value, for example, if the reward value is decreasing, so what happens, as you know, it is a kind of reinforcement learning. That means a reward is associated with each and every state. So if the agent gets a reward which is in negative number, it means it thinks that in a way that the action is not appropriate. And if it goes on a positive value, so it thinks that it is going in a proper way. So like that, the agent has to learn through the experiences of the interactions. So at one instance, at first time, it doesn't know. So what happens, the agent will describe the what are the good and bad actions by trial and error. Best action in the sense it has to go from the how the best action will be decided based on the value which is associated with that. That means trial and error method has to be adopted here so as to know which is a good action and which is a bad action for the given agent from one state to another state. So basically this Q learning is a kind of algorithm which is a part of your actively learning, active reinforcement learning technique. So just now I said that it is off policy because what happens in Q learning, what it uses Q learning functions. So here this functions will determine the value. So this functions actually Q learning function, what it learns from action. Okay, because for every state we may have certain possible set of actions so that are outside the current policy. Okay, because as it doesn't have any fixed policy here, as it doesn't know the proper policy, that's why the actions can be from any of the sequences. That means it can be there is no specific rule that the action has to be taken from a fixed policy. That means the actions can be from outside of the current policy. That means here it can take random actions. Okay, so that is the reason why the policy is not needed. If anyone says why the policy is not needed, because the actions are not specific here, they are not specific with any of the policy, it selects random actions. Okay, and based on the random actions only the things will be get decided. So by using trial and error method, it will select the optimum action, the best action we can say, in a sense that will give you the a path to move towards a destination. So this Q learning actually learns a policy here. So it doesn't have any policy, but it tries to learn a policy. How it will learn the policy? The policy will learn on what basis? By maximizing the total reward. Okay, because if a policy learn with expect to that it maximize the total reward, that means it considered as optimal policy. Because I said you the difference in the previous session also, that what is the difference between policy and optimal policy is that policy is something we are giving in a where it doesn't consider anything. That means it just tries to reach the destination. But optimal policy is something where it tries to reach the destination, it selects a path, but apart from that it maximizes the total reward. That's the difference between optimal policy and a policy. So here it learns the policy, which is optimal policy. It doesn't have a policy, but it learns optimal policy from the experiences, from the interaction what it performs while moving from one state to another state or selecting appropriate action for the given state. So that is why it is called as value based reinforcement learning algorithm. Because of that reason it is termed as value based reinforcement algorithm. Okay, and the main thing is that in order to select optimal policy, it has to select an optimal action. Okay, that means the Q function will select, for example, for a state S, and if it have multiple actions such as A1, A2, A3, so on, so it has to select an optimal action. For example, this is an optimal action, so this action will be selected for the given state S in order to move from that state to another state. So that is why it has to maximize. Why we are using an optimal action? In order to maximize the value function Q. Okay, so basically this Q learning uses a concept called as Q table. What this Q table will refers to, we'll see now what this Q table stands for. And here actually Q is what? The quality of the action. So here we are optimizing the value of Q, means we are improving the quality of an action. What action which is best suited for a given state is what? The quality of an action. So that is why quality represents how useful a given action is gaining future rewards. Because ultimately is to get a rewards and that too future rewards with the further steps. So that is what here it means for. So basically, like I said, that it uses Q table. So what is the role of Q table in Q learning? The role of Q table in Q learning is it will take a table where it contains rows and columns, and the number of rows of that table represent the number of states, okay, number of states for an agent, and the number of columns in that table represent number of actions, whatever the actions which are there, which will be taken as a columns. So that, for example, if we have 4 to 5 actions, 5 actions are there, so 5 columns will be there, and the number of states will be the number of rows. So based on this, it can have a Q table, or else you can also call as matrix, because it's something which is a combination of rows and columns. So in that sense, the Q table will going to be get formed here. So what is the role here is that it helps to maximize the expected reward by selecting the best of all possible action. That is why I said you that it has to select the best possible action among the given set of action. How it will be selected, we will be seeing that. So before that, Q table, initially what happens in that Q table is that it initializes all the values of Q table with 0 values. The first time it takes all the values as 0 values, and here Q is actually a function, I said. So this function is to map between state and action. Okay, if an agent is there in one state called S, and if it is performing an action A1, that means Q of S comma A1. So in this way, the Q functions will give you the value. So what it returns, actually, this value, what it returns the future reward of that action at that state. That means if an agent is there in one state S, and if it performs an action A, okay, so by doing this is actually giving the value. What it returns this? It returns a value which is the expected future reward of that action. That means if I select this action, what will be the future reward of that state? So in that sense, it is going to be get calculated. It is what the values has to be calculated. Now what is this function actually? So this function is be taken in Q learning, because Q learning uses Q table and Q table uses Q functions. So this Q functions actually works iteratively, repeatedly, okay, until a given certain condition. So that condition also we need to see. So using that conditions, it repeats until it reaches to that condition. And what it uses Bellman equation. Bellman equation we have seen in 4th unit about how this Bellman equation gets calculated. So using that Bellman equation, we are actually calculating the Q of S comma A. That means Q function value with respect to state S and with respect to action A. So what happens is that initially we explore the environment and update the Q table. So every time we need to update the Q table. Okay, that means every time we need to update the Q value here. So whenever the Q table is ready, the agent will start to exploit the environment. Okay, exploit the environment, it visits all of the possible states with all other actions, and upon that it selects the better action among the given set of actions. So that we will be seeing here. Now we will be taking one example here, that how actually this Q learning works here. So we are simplifying the things by taking an example. So here we taken a robot. Okay, so this is something a maze where the robot is there. Okay, and apart from that, what is that it has to reach to the end point. So here is my end point where the robot has to reach there. Okay, starting from this position. Now what we are doing is that it contains mines. Okay, so here it contains mines here. So the robot has to avoid such kind of mines, because by if you go to that, the agent will be in dead state. The agent will be in dead state. So that mines has to be avoided, and the robot at one position at one time, it only moves one time. That means at one step it either can move to this, either it can move to that. So only at one tile it can move. It can't move two tiles or three tiles at one single step. So that is also one condition here. And if the robot steps into mine, I say to the robot is dead. The robot has to reach the end point. What is the goal is the robot has to reach this end point in the shortest time, because that is how we are taking optimal policy, right? There is no policy here. There is, the agent doesn't know how to go, where to go, but the goal of the agent is to reach to the end with short amount of time, with less amount of time. That means it should select shortest path. So this shortest path selection in a way that it should give a maximum reward. If it gives a maximum reward value by selecting a shortest path and by taking the certain conditions, by following that conditions, so that means agent is actually trying for what? Optimal policy. Agent is trying for optimal policy. So that optimal policy has to learn by an agent by trial and error method. That I said you, right? So that is has to be done here. So now the robot, the scoring reward, for example, like whenever the robot moves from one state to another step, okay, one step to another step, it loses a point 1, okay. By if I, what it means that the agent has to take less number of steps in reaching to the end, because if it loses -1, that if it loses 1 means it means -1. So by that agent knows that if it takes more number of steps, the overall value get decreases, because what we have optimal policy means we have maximum reward value. What should we have? Maximum reward value, and maximum reward value can only be obtained if we have more number of reward value. That means if we have less number of steps taken to reach to the end, because for every step, unnecessary step, what happens, even if it is necessary also, for every step it reduces a value called -1 by 1, okay. So that is, it has to be get considered even that further. And here I say to mine, whenever it reaches to mine, the point loses is 100. That means -100 it will be when it reaches to mine. So here it is in that sense, okay, wherever it is. So the robot has to be very much careful, because by that the game will end there. So that state has to be avoided by a robot. If the robot gets power, it gains 1 point. So here this is power. Whenever it goes to this state, that means the robot is acquiring a power which is something +1. Here also it is +1, here also it is +1, here also it is +1. So this is how when it goes to power, it gets +1 in wherever the values are there. And if the robot reaches the end goal, and finally if it reaches to this state, it gets +100 points. Okay. So now the thing is that we know that these are the conditions of the given, certain conditions has to be adopted in order to reach to destination by a robot. The thing is that how we train a robot, because ultimately the robot has to be get trained. The robot has to be get trained in order to reach to the destination. And the thing is that robot doesn't know the path also, because what is this Q learning, active passive learning says, it doesn't have a policy, initial policy. It doesn't have any initial policy. That means the robot doesn't know that how it reaches there. The agent doesn't know the path to reach to the destination. So it doesn't have any initial policy. So the task has been increased, and that means actively the robot has to participate by taking all the set of actions. Among that, it has to select the optimal action. So by selecting optimal action, for each state, okay, for each state it has to select optimal action so as to reach to the end with maximum reward, which results in optimal policy. So here we are, now the thing is that the robot has to be get trained to reach to the end goal with the shortest path without stepping on a mine. So this steps has to be avoided by a robot. Now we will be seeing how is that possible. So here we are introducing the concept called Q table for the given example. So now for example, you know, the robot has, for example, consider this case, if the robot is in this state, okay, So that means the robot can perform 4 actions. Okay, how many actions are there here? 4 actions, left, right, up and down. So any of this action performs. But the thing is that if the robot performs right action here, the game will get ends. Okay, and it can perform any of the 3 actions. So now the thing is that agent has to decide upon performing these 3 or 4 actions on which state it will be an optimal action. So the agent has to select optimal action. Okay, the agent has to select optimal action among the given set of actions. So in that sense, when we have a set of actions and we know what are the states, so that we can create a Q table. So here we got a Q table, okay, where I said the columns represent the actions. So here there are 4 actions: up, right, down and left. So 4 actions means 4 columns we have taken, and we have taken states called start state, nothing, that means it doesn't perform anything here, blank. Here it is in power state, here it is in mind state, here it is in lastly is in end state. So here were 5 states we have. So we created a matrix called 5 by 4 where we have a Q table. So in this way the Q table will be get created. So this is our empty Q table where it doesn't have any values. So like this, based on the set of actions and based on the set of states, we need to know the size, we can define the size of Q table. So here we define the size of Q table as in this way. Now the thing is that after getting the Q table, what is the thing is that we have to perform Q function. What is Q function? I said Q function is a combination of state and its associated action on the given state. Okay, so here for example, here we taken a state called ST. Among that, it is if I takes a particular action AT for the given state S. So here we are finding the Q value, that means this is Q function, which is an optimal value, okay, which is Q value for that state only, okay, for that state ST. So here we, like how we are calculating here is that we are taking expected discounted cumulative rate. This thing I already said you while calculating the Bellman equation, that how this cumulative reward will be taken here. Here this is discounted factor, and again the discounted factor power get increases so as to nullify the discount factor here, and along with that it takes the same given state and action. So this is how the equation to find out the Q function. So what it takes input as? It takes input as a state and it takes input as an action. So upon the given state, what action it is performing, so based on that we get what? The value of Q. Okay, for that we are finding here. Now what happens is when we start, all the values initially has to be taken as zeros in Q table. Like we have seen, this is our Q table, right? So initially here we need to put all the values as 0 here. Okay, so like that we need to put all the values as 0 here, and we will be seeing how it performs. And after that, this is the first step where it is putting all the values as 0, but later on what happens, the each values will be updated, and it is in something which is in iterative process. So iterative process is, repetitive process, until we need to explore the environment, complete environment, and until the Q function gives us a better and better approximation by updating the Q values. So let's understand that how actually we are updating these values here. So this is how algorithm which is of Q learning. Okay, so here we taken a step. So this is called as step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and this step 2 to step 5, it is something which is performing repeatedly. Okay, that means in iterative manner. Okay, because I said you that it has to perform iteratively, repetitively. So after updating the Q value, again it performs, again it selects an action, and again it performs for the next time. So in this way it has to perform iteratively. But the thing is that the first step is to initialize a Q table. So initialization is something where you are assigning the values here for the table for the first time. That's why we have initialized the Q table with all zeros. So here we are taking all zeros in Q table. Then after that on the current state, we need to go for the particular action. So we need to choose an action, what action we are performing. After selecting that action, and that action should be optimal action, and that after selecting that action, we need to perform that action. That means we need to execute that action, and after performing that action, ultimately you will get a reward value. So we need to calculate, I mean we need to measure that reward value, and based on that reward value, we need to update the q value. So we need to calculate q value, and as we calculated q value, so we need to update the q table also. So this is how it is updated, and it is performing it in a iterative manner up to when if we get a q table is ready completely. So here we will be seeing how these steps will comes here. So the first is something I said you to initialize the q table, right? So here we gonna take a size here in something in this way, where columns represents actions and rows represent states. So here these are the states, and this is something our actual figure of this one, where the robot is in this state currently, which is your the start state here. So now what we are performing is that we are initializing all the values of 0. So we taken all the values in q table as 0 here, and what we are doing is that how we got the size, because we know how many actions we can perform here and how many number of states we have. Based on that, we created a table of 4 columns and 5 rows. So this is the first time, step 1. Then step 2 and step 3 we are performing combinedly. How we are doing is that we are taking here, this step 2 is for undefined amount of time, because we don't know how much for how much time is required for this. So that means this step runs until the time we stop the training. Okay, that means the training loop stops as defined in the code. So the algorithm gets trained. How it gets trained? It selects an action A, the state S. So if the agent is in the state S, it has to select an action A based on the Q table. Okay, based on the Q. So Q table also matters here. Okay, so when the episode, that means when the things has to be get started initially, every q value is 0, as I said you, but we will use something called, this is how important, epsilon greedy strategy. Epsilon greedy strategy is something here where what happens, for example, if an agent is there in state S1 and it can perform an action A1, A2, A3, so it selects, for example, if it is A3, so here it selects maximum value of that action, which is something called greedy approach. What is this called as greedy approach? So this greedy strategy will be implementing here. So what happens is that the epsilon rates will be higher. Initially what happens, epsilon rates will be higher. Why? Because we have multiple set of actions, we have multiple set of states. So what happens is that this epsilon value will be higher. But what happens is that whenever the robot explores the states or environment completely, this epsilon value will get decreases, because the robot starts to exploit the environment. Exploit is something which is something is accessing the complete environment. So whenever it accesses the more number of states, the epsilon rate value get decreases. So something it is inversely proportional here. Okay, so in that sense it is to be, and the logic is that the robot doesn't know anything about the environment. That is also one thing here, because it's something where the police where the what you say, the given environment where the agent doesn't have any knowledge of policy. So policy in the sense it doesn't have any knowledge about environment also. So in that it has to select an appropriate action, which we have just now I have stated this. So now using this first step, as we taken that, so we need to continue. If we take the second and third step is we need to choose and perform an action. So here we have selected an action. For this robot example here, we start with our, that means we have selected right action. Okay, we have selected right action. So here the robot is something in this position, right action we have been taken. So the robot has been taken by only just step 1. Okay, so now what we have to do, as soon as we have taken an action called right, so we need to update the q value because it was the initial one, but now the thing is that we need to update the q value from being at the start With the help of what? With the help of Bellman equation. By taking an action right. So here the action has been taken right. So using that action, it has to calculate it has to update the q value using Bellman equation. So now this is something where you are evaluating that one. So how this new q a of s comma a means it is updated value. What is this? It is updated q value. Okay, and this is how something current q value. What okay, current q value, initially we have taken 0, so that current q value will be there here, and this is how, which is called as here learning rate. Okay, what is this? Here it is called as learning rate. At what learning rate you are taking, you are calculating this. So it's something which you are defining the value, and this is how something where it is reward value. Okay, so here we have taken the reward value, and here we have taken which one here? It is this one. What is this? Expected future reward. If I take the given new state s dash, so what will be the expected future reward is there, so that will be taken, and here it is discount rate, this is called discount factor. Okay, so that discount factor is there, and this is the which is current q value. That means it is called temporal difference. Here we taken a difference of this value along with this value. So using this equation we are updating the q value. So as I said you that if it is going into the power state, it is getting +1. When it is going to min state, it is -100, and when it is going to end state, it is +100. So using that values we can calculate the remaining steps. So here we are calculating whenever we are moving towards right direction. So here what action we have taken, this is the start state. The action what I am performing is right action. Start comma right, it start indicates what? A state, and right indicates an action. So this is how we are calculating. So this is updated q value, and this is my current q value with this sum delta value. So what is this sum delta value? According to the previous equation, we are calculating this sum delta value is something which is reward value, and here what reward you are getting along with that, and here max of q of nothing comma down. Okay, so future state is something where it is moving to the another state where nothing is there, and it is, you can go for down state because this is updated q dash in the sense, what is this new state? If I'm moving from new, if I'm going to new state, so what will be the new state here? It goes into the nothing state. Okay, by taking an action down here. Okay, or else I can have that means nothing if I take means I can go for left action, if or else I can take nothing, I can take right action. So among these actions I have to calculate the maximum on that. So these are the actions down, left, right. Among these three actions I have to select the maximum value. So that is optimal action I have to select. What action I have to select? Optimal action, because when I am going to down state, so there are three actions are available. Okay, because if I want to go down, I can go where it is left, right, or down. If I want to change from one state to another state, so that means from start to nothing. So there are three actions are available. So among that I have to select the best action, that is your optimal action, by calculating the maximum value among the three given values, which is your optimal actions. So using this optimal action value, by this the current value what we got, so that current of start comma right, by taking this action, because initially we were in start state and we have taken an action called right. So this is right is action, start is a state. So difference of this we need to add along with this one. So here we are calculating something like this. So initially it was 0, and here what we have taken is 0.9, which is your learning rate. Okay, so here we got this into 0 minus 0, because initially it was 0, so overall you will get as a 0, and this 0 again what we are doing is that we are taking here. Okay, so this is how discount factor Okay, this is discount factor 0.9 into 0 we have taken. So nothing like that. So ultimately it will give you 0. And now this 0 we need to substitute in this way. So alpha, this is alpha represents for what? Okay, so this alpha represents for learning rate. So we substitute this value again here. Whatever the learning rate, because whatever it is might be, but it is into 0 means it will give you as 0 only. So now what we got, the new q value, updated q value of the given state start by taking a right action is 0. So again that's why the value will be 0 only here, because updated value but the value hasn't changed here. So similarly we have to repeat this again and again until the learning is get stopped. Okay, in this way the q table will be updated. So by this what happens, trial and error method, the number of iterations will be performed here, and based on that it will select an optimal set of optimal actions which will give you a set which will give you an optimal path, I mean optimal policy. So like this what happens, the q learning will works here. Okay, so this is regarding about q learning. Okay, so with this I conclude this today's session. Thank you.